Imagine your favorite car, but you're riding on the roof. Wind, dust, and flies in your face. Can you picture it? Let's make it worse. You're going at 200 miles per hour. There's a blizzard. It's minus 30 degrees, and the wind is peeling your skin off. And yet, you're still on the hood. Now, wouldn't that be crazy? A car is designed as a protective cocoon for moving through space. It has a steel shell, comfy adjustable seats, climate control, music, and even cup holders. The outside world doesn't matter when you're inside. Whether it's 40 or plus 60 degrees, rain, snow, or wind, you're not just protected. You're in comfort. Only a crazy person would give up such conditions and crawl outside.
I drive like a crazy.
Let's consider another example. A house. Beautiful, sturdy, with all the amenities you can think of. Your car, even a business class one, doesn't even come close in terms of comfort and space. There's no bathroom or bathtub in your car. You can't cook food, and you can't stand up straight. As they say, my home is my castle. The house has a heating system, ventilation, sewage, an electrical substation, an autonomous water supply. It has it all. Don't forget the heated floors, a TV, spacious rooms with panoramic windows, a fridge stocked with delicious food, a dining area, and even a fireplace. You couldn't care less about what's outside. Not the cold or the heat, not even a volcanic eruption or a flood. If a car is designed to spend a few hours in it, you can live in a house for years without going outside, unless there's an apocalypse or something. But there's one strange thing about this house. Its owner, you, climbed onto the roof and lived there. The house is just filled with comforts, but you won't leave the roof no matter what. November's bone-chilling rains, freezing January frosts, or scorching July heat with mosquitoes and dust storms can't drive you off the roof. Your neighbors shake their heads and take pictures of you with their phones, but you think they're the crazy ones because idiots live inside their houses. But why be surprised? If a psycho rides on the car's exterior, they should live outside the house too. We'll get back to the psycho later. For now, let's think about who taught people to live in houses. People borrowed the idea from nature. As we know, the universe masterfully builds houses in the form of galaxies, planets, or cells. Moreover, the universe is a fractal, which means it looks the same in both the large and the small, as evidenced even by this cabbage head. Let's take the largest house in the universe, a galaxy. Trillions of stars revolve around the mystical core. Nobody knows who's spinning the stars. The solar system. Each star is surrounded by planets, making it a smaller copy of a galaxy. Nobody knows who set the planets spinning around the core, and that's another mystery. Notice that by reducing the angle of view, we see a repetition of the system, like on a cabbage. In other words, inside the galaxy house, there are many small solar system houses. Pay attention to the fact that galaxies and solar systems have a disc shape. However, starting from planets and getting smaller, all the fractals are spherical. In turn, a spherical planet is the center core of rotation for satellites, with the same unanswered questions. The planet is divided into continents, which are divided into countries, which are divided into cities, neighborhoods, and houses where people live. Their bodies are also divided into systems, consisting of organs. So, we aimed the telescope at the galaxy and started zooming in rapidly until we bumped into the human eye, which damn well resembles a galaxy, as if we didn't get any closer. Organs, in turn, are made up of tissues, and those tissues follow the same principle as galaxies. This is a human cell, a sphere that precisely replicates our planet, but with one crucial difference. Nobody lives on its surface. Inside, beneath the protective shell, the cell is filled with all sorts of stuff, with a mandatory nucleus in the center. The nucleus consists of molecules in the most whimsical forms, and these molecules, in turn, are made up of atoms. This is an atom, a sphere that replicates both our planet and a human cell. Atoms are not the end. It turns out they also consist of a nucleus and a bunch of other stuff. The guys in glasses agreed to call them electrons, protons, and neutrons, whizzing around the core at insane speeds, continuing to torment us with the question,
who controls this complex?
Control.
As you may have guessed, you can split electrons and go on magnifying through a microscope indefinitely, realizing that the universe always looks the same, both in the large and the small, which means it's fractile. So, there's no point in using a telescope because the universe telescopes itself. Here's the crucial conclusion. By studying the cell, we understand the structure of the universe. And if that's the case, let's take a closer look at the cell, especially since its size is convenient for us. Take a closer look. It's strikingly similar to a planet. Well, except that nobody lives on its surface, everything valuable is securely ticked away inside. You can even compare the cell to a house. The universe constructs its nested dolls not just cleverly, but brilliantly. All houses are impregnable from the outside and comfortable inside. Our ancestors, knowing the universe's design, also built reliable houses. For example, they surrounded cities with stone walls and lived inside, not outside. Seriously, people. Every bird, as part of nature, builds a nest and lives inside it. Mice dig burrows and live inside them. Worms, snakes, crabs, foxes, bears, they all live inside their homes. Not a single living creature lives on the surface of its burrow. Unlike the 7 billion psychos
You're such a psycho!
who have settled on the roof of their house. On the roof of Earth, protected by the thinnest layer of air, which according to all the laws of physics should have been blown away by some comet ages ago. So, did the higher mind create a brilliant universe but mess up when it came to Earth? After all, Earth is like a cell, only for some reason, it's inhabited on the outside. Why were we placed on the roof of the house? Why are we hurtling at an unimaginable speed on the rooftop of the planet through deadly cold space, smashing our heads against icy chunks, rocks, and other cosmic junk? Why not settle us inside a closed system with a protective shell and a brain core inside that controls temperature, humidity, ventilation, provides us with water, food, and light? Wait, maybe it's not the higher mind who messed up.
I animated the sun oscillating around the celestial sphere every 6 months. So when it's in the Tropic of Cancer, you'll notice that you get 24 hours of daylight at the North Pole and 24 hours of darkness on the South Pole. And conversely, when the sun is in the south, you'll see that you will get 24 hours of daylight on the South Pole and 24 hours of darkness on the North Pole. Originally, when I animated the sun, I did it linearly. There was no acceleration or deceleration, so I couldn't get the equinoxes to line up on March 21st or September 21st. However, when I added acceleration and deceleration, so it's decelerating at the extremes like that, the equinoxes lined up perfectly. And so in nature, you can conclude too that if something is orbiting around something magnetically and it's oscillating north and south like that, there's going to be acceleration and deceleration. In a heliocentric model, you have to conclude that the Earth is orbiting around the Sun in an elliptical path. This is very unnatural. You also have to conclude that it's tilting. You have problems with that too as well. And you also have to conclude that it's precessing or wobbling, because it shows that after a year the Sun is in a different location against the stars. But if you understand within the concave Earth, it's all taken care of simply by the fact that there's two different velocities, the velocity of the Sun and the velocity of the celestial sphere, which is slightly faster than the Sun. A sidereal year or a sidereal day.
Perhaps they made us believe that we live outside the cell. As we know, a lie repeated 100 times becomes the truth. From kindergarten, they plant images of space in our heads. In the past century, they even organized a show of ships sailing the big theater. How many times have we seen this intro before watching a movie? How many satellite photos? How many stories from astronauts about the blue sphere? How many spins did the school globe make before the teacher hammered into us that it's our home? Try to doubt it here, that we live not on the roof of the house. The book of Genesis, chapter 1. 1. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. What? There's already light, but no sun. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. What day? 2. And God said, "Let there be a firmament." What's this firmament? 3. And God made the firmament and divided the waters that were under the firmament from the waters that were above the firmament. And it was so. What did he separate from what? 4. And God called the firmament heaven. Is the sky from? 5. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to separate the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and years." Why doesn't the firmament melt from the sun? 6. And let them be lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. What does lights mean here? 7. And God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. What emitted light before the creation of lights? 8. And God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth. The Bible stubbornly insists on the firmament. 9. To rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. As we can see, the biblical creation of the world is complete nonsense from the perspective of official science, but it's pure truth from the standpoint of a concave Earth. The Bible insists that the luminaries are attached to a single firmament. Therefore, the distance to the sun, the moon, and all the stars is the same. Moreover, they are so small that they fit on the firmament, which shields the earth from the upper water. Why doesn't the sun, a nuclear mega bomb, burn the firmament? And what's this water above the firmament? Shouldn't there be a vacuum of space up there? The astronomy textbook goes in the trash. Some smarty pants will start foaming at the mouth, saying it's all figurative and metaphorical. Stop nitpicking the words. Hold on a minute. So, the origin of billions of Chinese, black, and white people from the incest of two kid folks, is normal. But the heavenly firmament with luminaries is a metaphor. Society has been marinating in a marinade of lies. But some people still wake up and try to, if not wake others up, at least plant a seed in the subconscious of society that the world is not as they've been told by the reptilians. And if we don't know where we live, then all other knowledge becomes irrelevant because you don't build a house without a foundation. Now, when we've suspected something fishy in astronomy, let's go back to our fractals. Arrange them in decreasing order and notice one strange thing. Galaxies in the solar system have a disk shape, while all the other fractals are spherical. An unpleasant conclusion arises that we've been deceived on the scale of galaxies. The first two images completely deviate from the fractal concept, which means they're falsified, and therefore we have no idea what the real space outside of Earth looks like. So let's stretch our imagination and picture where we actually live. It's a sphere protected by a very strong shell. All continents and oceans are located inside the sphere, in the center of which, as fractals dictate, there's a core which we see as the blue sky during the day and the starry sky at night. The sun, moon, all planets and stars revolve around this core. What's even more interesting is that the sun has no effect on the change of seasons, and even more amusingly, sunrises and sunsets are also unrelated to the illumination from the sun. But we'll talk about that later. In summary, life on the surface of planets is impossible and contradicts the concept of a fractal universe. There are not just no conditions for it, but it's foolish to create them on the outside. Even our brains are inside our skulls. If they were outside, it's a corpse. No one ever intended to settle people on the roof of the house. The same thousands of meteorites per second would erase life before it even started. No atmosphere can withstand such artillery fire, cold, and radiation. Of course, it's hard to realize how badly we've been deceived, to put it mildly. But now we'll have to turn the globe inside out, just like our consciousness.
So friends, let's sum up. We live on the roof of the house, while our universe is structured like a fractal. We are deceived on the scale of galaxies and do not know what the real space outside of Earth looks like. Imagine riding on the roof of a car at a speed of 200 miles per hour at minus 30 degrees. No one lives on the surface of their shelter except us, and this contradicts the concept of a fractal universe. We must realize that we live inside a sphere protected by a shell and reevaluate our reality. What do you think about this? I'm very interested in your opinion. Please share your thoughts in the comments. Also, subscribe to my channel and activate the bell so you'll be notified when new videos are released. Stay connected with me here. See you soon in the upcoming episodes.